Am I the asshole for telling my husband's ex-wife that I can't pay his child support for my stepdaughter? To make a long story short, my F25 husband, M33, just walked out on us a little over a month ago. He completely just up and abandoned me, our 5F, and 18 million HF children. He has an ex-wife, 30 SF, and they have a 12-year-old daughter from their marriage. No formal custody involved, but we would usually get my stepdaughter every other weekend and my husband would pay his ex the child support every month on the first when he got paid. My husband's excuse for just leaving us in the dust was that I am damaged goods, and he couldn't hack it, being a father anymore. He didn't feel any joy in parenting and wanted to live a free life, so he changed his number, blocked me on all social media, changed all of his passwords, and told his friends, family not to speak to me. It turned my entire life upside down. I've been a SOM since our eldest was born, got my degree, and we talked about me going back to the workforce once she entered kindergarten this year in the fall. But it was nothing set in stone. My husband literally gave me an allowance every week to buy groceries, pay bills, diapers, anything the kids needed, etc. I would always stash a little bit away, but he definitely was the breadwinner in our relationship. My husband's ex-wife messaged me earlier today asking if we could talk about something serious. I asked her what was up. She asked if I could pay her the amount of child support my husband usually gives her every month on the first. I curiously asked her how much because my husband never told me exactly what amount he gave her. I never really thought it was any of my business. She told me she needed the $900 he usually gives her because both she and her new husband are struggling to pay their bills and they rely on that child support to make their rent payment, and they were behind. I told her I couldn't do it. Because truthfully, I can't. I'm still waiting to get an appointment so I can receive government benefits because with what little money I did have saved up, it's gone now after paying every single bill by myself. To keep a roof over mine and my kids' heads, make sure they're fed, etc. There is and will be no way I can spare almost $1,000 to my husband's ex-wife. She blew up my phone, calling me a piece of shit, a stupid bitch, saying she can understand why he left me, etc. Threatening to keep my stepdaughter away from me and my kids because we are bad influences, and that my stepdaughter is going to struggle because I can't fork over money I literally do not have. I tried apologizing, but it was no use, it just ended with her calling me more names. Am I the asshole here? I feel horrible that my husband has left us both high and dry. But I also have to look out for my own 2 kids. I'm literally skipping meals to make sure they have enough to eat and I'm scrambling to figure out how I'm going to survive without my husband's help now. Part of me is really conflicted but I can't give his ex-wife what I don't have. Honestly, I'm confused why the ex-wife would ask you and why you would even debate it internally. This is a no-brainer here. Your soon-to-be ex-husband needs to handle his responsibilities. The audacity of her to even ask you is off the charts. Not the asshole. Why would she expect you to pay your husband's child support? That's ridiculous. Sorry you're going through this. Good luck. Not the asshole. Don't pay her $1. Do not set the precedence that there is any kind of financial obligation. Out of curiosity, can you take your husband to court for child support? Not the asshole. I am no lawyer but I don't even think she has any legal repercussions that she could do to get the money out of you. I would stay far away from her and ignore her for all things except step-child specific in case the kids wants to see each other as they are related. Don't give her anything, especially without speaking to a lawyer first. Not the asshole. And you said no formal custody. So does that mean no child support agreement for ex-wife, stepdaughter? If so, file first. Child support is allocated in order of who files first, so you should file before she does. Get a divorce lawyer immediately and take him to the cleaners. Number 1. You need a divorce. He won't file because that would mean he's under a court order to pay you spousal support and/or child support. Number 2. Simply because there is no custody order for his previous child does not mean there isn't a current child support order. 3. First in the court line means first access to his paycheck. Your first call should be to a legal aid office or the pro bono office of the local bar. You need a temporary support and custody order ASAP. You don't need to be wondering about how to survive without his support. Let a lawyer handle it. Don't talk with first ex. Keep all communications to text, email. Am I the asshole for reporting my daughter's teacher to the principal? My daughter is 6 and is grade 2 but only been remote until a few months ago, so she hasn't physically been in school for long. Recently she told me she didn't want her packed lunches anymore and what to eat what the other kids were eating. She had been not wanting to eat what were her favorite foods and opting for asking for pizza more. I asked her why she didn't to eat her favorite foods anymore and she told me she wanted to be able to sit with the other students. I was shocked because I didn't know she wasn't sitting with the other students and she told me it was because her teacher made her sit in the other room by herself during lunchtimes because she brought smelly foods. To be clear, growing up I was also targeted by teachers who wouldn't let me bring shrimp or anything with garlic or onion because they hated the smell. So I try not to pack anything that could cause them to target my child like Spam sushi or egg fried rice. I was really upset because she is half Chinese but she clearly looks Asian and I felt it was my childhood trauma happening on her. I called up her homeroom teacher for a meeting and the teacher said they didn't make her sit in the other room to eat, but my daughter told me to ask her best friend who confirmed for me that yes, she had been. Another teacher confirmed her had seen her eating alone and her homeroom teacher switched stories that she had, but it was because my daughter brought a persimmon to school and it was distracting the other kids because they thought she was eating a tomato and she didn't want her distracting the other students by having foreign food. She refused to believe it was inappropriate and said she didn't see anything wrong with sending her to eat by herself. I had to go to the principal and take my daughter to another homeroom to finish up the school year because that teacher said it only happened once despite my daughter swearing up and down it happened every few days for weeks before she told me. She told me specifically of a time she brought tomato egg stir-fry and a boy bullying her because it looked like blood and the teacher sending her to eat in the other room rather than telling him to stop. My husband doesn't believe her saying the teachers would have said something because sending her to eat by herself, but I don't think he understands because he is white. Not the asshole, this extremely inappropriate of the teacher and in my opinion racist. I've worked with kids before and at that age the only reason I can see for separating a child for meals is if they had a food that was an allergy danger to other children or vice versa. Maybe. But this would definitely be addressed with the parents within 24 hours, so as to make sure that it didn't have to happen a second time. Not the asshole. Any teacher making a little kid sit by herself during lunch is an asshole. What the hell? Not the asshole, but what is wrong with your husband? He doesn't believe his own daughter. Especially at 6 years old. What motivation would a 6-year-old have to lie about something like this? What's wrong with him? Not the asshole. In no way are you the asshole. This deserves to be reported. I am white and even I can understand that sending her to eat by herself because her foods are viewed as foreign isn't okay. Your husband needs to understand that. Children need to be around new foods, it's how they learn about parts of cultures. This is an issue with the teacher, not the children. Children see new foods all the time and are fine. I even ate sand as a kid. They don't care. The teacher needed to be reported because this is highly prejudiced. Food is food. Shouldn't matter. Not the asshole, your daughter's teacher is being blatantly racist. Foreign foods. WTAF? Not the asshole. That teacher is racist as hell. Am I the asshole for refusing to ground my son when he called my Phil pathetic? My husband and I have 2 kids, Ryder, 21M, and Juliet, 16F. Both of them are close to both set of grandparents and visit them regularly. Juliet is discovering her style and she's experimenting with clothes, hairstyles and makeup. Ryan gave her a sew machine last month and she kinda went nuts with this, doing a lot of pieces for fun. Since Julie is still a minor, we set a few rules because we believe that, even when she's expressing herself, there's still things she shouldn't wear. Like no see-through things, no large cleavage and no minis. She's always mixing patterns, colors, prints and textures, pants under skirts, dresses as cardigans, big earrings and necklaces, etc. Sometimes it does feel too much, but that's just fashion, isn't it? She seems happy and we don't think it's fair to call her outfits ugly when she's just having fun and experimenting. She still tones it down when it comes to family gatherings because she's afraid people will say something. Is important to add that Ryder 100% supports and encourages his sister. Most of the funny jewelry that Julie owns are things Ryder bought for her, and as I said, he gave her a sew machine recently. She also makes him shirts and is trying to make him a jacket. Yesterday was Ryder's 21B day and we decided to have a small party just with family. Julie asked Ryder what his theme was so she could dress accordingly, but he said she could dress however she wanted and I swear you could see Julie's eyes sparkling. She ended up wearing a weird combination, but looked happy and Ryder said she looked pretty. As soon as everyone starts to come, they eye Julie but nobody says anything. I noticed my Phil making a face and when he wants to give Ryder a few words he says, "Is time to address the elephant in the room." Juliet looks awful. Go change to normal clothes, little girl. Ryder just rolls his eyes and say that a 70-yo man bullying a 16-yo is pathetic. They start to fight and my Phil demands I punish my son but my husband and I refuse. He made Julie cry. Not the asshole. 1. How do you ground a 21-year-old 2? Your son is a boss for coming to his sister's defense. Not the asshole. Shame on your Phil. It sounds like you're doing everything right to me and your kids sound wonderful. Keep doing what you're doing. ETA. Your son is 21. I don't think grounding him for an argument between him and another adult would be appropriate anyway. Your Phil is just angry that he got called out for his poor behavior. Not the asshole. Your son was defending his sister. Your Phil was acting pathetic, and nothing that you said was wrong. Not only that, but how does he expect you to ground, or punish, a 21Y? Oh man. He's an adult. He can voice his opinions and grievances without worrying about being reprimanded. Phil needs to grow up. Not the asshole. How do you even punish a 21-year-old? Lock up the liquor cabinet? I mean, if it was some fun lighthearted ribbing about the clothes, maybe he went too far calling him pathetic, but if he was being mean, there is nothing wrong with being mean back. This old bullshit of having to placate boomers when they are being dicks needs to end. If you're big enough to talk shit, you need to be ready to take it. Not the asshole, but your Phil absolutely is. And why didn't you say something to shut him up? Not the asshole. Your son is 21? A legal adult. So, punishing him should no longer be part of your relationship. Period. Phil got what he deserved. Am I the asshole for kicking my sister out? When my 42M daughter, May 14F, came out as lesbian a year ago, I completely fine with it. She has been dating Allie 14F for 8 months. They're great together and I'm completely supportive. My sister, 38F, has always been the golden child, and my parents threatened NC against me and my daughter if we didn't let her move in with us, as she couldn't pay rent anymore because she can't keep a job. She's lazy, and my parents enable her laziness and give her money. I reluctantly complied. So, 2 months later, here we are. My sister is stuck on the concept that guys marry girls. No in between. She'll roll her eyes on disgust if Allie and May are holding hands or something, but that's about it. She doesn't say anything about it ever. Today, Allie and May were taking selfies in the game room and talking about the Pride Festival they went to last week. My sister barged in and started ranting about how ridiculous it is that she's dating a girl, and that love is only love if it's between a boy and girl. My daughter looked genuinely hurt. Cue me. I came upstairs and saw the look on my daughter's face, and I asked my sister to leave the room. I asked the girls what happened, and they explained it to me. I confronted my sister and she denied it. I pulled up the security camera feed on my phone. It picks up video and audio. Not in bedrooms or bathrooms, and played it back to her shocked face. I told her to get the hell out of my house if she was going to treat my daughter like that. She packed her stuff and left within half an hour. My parents are furious at me, and they took my sister in. No one in my family is talking to me or my daughter, and I'm not sure I made the right call. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole. Good for you for standing up for your daughter. Let your sister be with your parents since they seem to love her so much. It's not your responsibility to take care of a grown woman. My parents are furious at me, and they took my sister in. No one in my family is talking to me or my daughter, and I'm not sure I made the right call. Given how terrible your family sound, that seems like a win. Not the asshole. You're absolutely not the asshole. You stood up against bigotry and I guarantee your daughter will remember that moment. You're a good dad. Not the asshole. You're the kind of dad young queer kids wish they had. Your daughter will probably remember this moment for the rest of her life as the moment that you became unequivocally trustworthy. You didn't just accept your daughter, you fought for her. You 100% did the right thing. Edited because I can't read. Not the asshole. Go mama bear, go. If my kid was gay and my sister did that, not a chance of it happening. She would never. I'd do the exact same. You just showed your kid you have her back forever, and that your support is genuine. Your family can support your sister if they want, but that says so much about the conditional aspect of their love for you and your daughter, and is so blatantly homophobic it's disgusting. You both deserve better. Enjoy Pride Month with your daughter. White flag rainbow heart. What you just did for your daughter is what is called exceptional parenting. As a middle-aged woman, many of my gay friends were kicked out of their homes, shunned from their families, or basically had to act straight if they wanted to maintain a relationship with them. It broke my heart to witness this conditional love parenting Not to mention the trauma and abandonment issues they suffered for years to come. You on the other hand have just become your daughter's champion. You have made her feel loved and accepted and valued, and that is everything. Not the asshole, superdad. Not even a little.